Welcome to the Real Estate 401k Show. Here are your hosts, Ryan Gertis, Mike Weinstein, and Justin Frederick, helping you build a legacy of wealth through real estate. Powered by the Recon Group at West USA and the Frederick team with Fairway Mortgage. NMLS number 625918.
Justin, I think this is going to relate to you the most being on the lending side. But there are two types of home sellers. There is the type of home seller that comes to us and says, what do I need to do in order to get this house ready to sell? And then there's the other home seller that says, this is all the stuff that I've done. And it's kind of like fixing credit. You got two types of people come to you and say, what do I need to do to buy a home? And the type of people that say, this is all the stuff that I did. This is all the cash that I invested to fix my credit. And here's where I'm at. And so I want to talk about on this episode, guys, as far as getting a home ready to sell. All three of us are very, very active real estate investors. We've all have purchased many homes over our careers, and we have sold many homes over our careers. But Ryan, the two types of people, it's like the people that just, I gotta get my house perfect. I've got to do everything. I am going to install blast doors in case a TIE fighter starts shooting at me. And I don't know. I've got to put in the gold trim toilets. I've got to do all of this thing. There's money inherently spent in getting a house ready to sell. But when you do that without the advice of a real estate wealth manager and an expert, oftentimes you're spending money that you shouldn't spend. And Ryan, I know you've sold a ton of home. I know you've seen people go above and beyond before you get your hands on them. And then when you get your hands on them, you want to grab them by the ears and just shake them of like, why? What are the do's and the don'ts as far as getting a house ready to sell?
Well, I'm gonna piggyback off a little bit of what you said. There's two types of people. There's the people that are going over the top, and there's the people that are doing nothing. and
I've been there.
Yeah, and generally speaking, married couples have one of each. So there's always a little bit of navigating with that.
Which one are you?
I am.
Without. Let's roll the dice. Does Christine listen to this podcast? So be very, very careful how you answer this question.
I think that she's the one that's going to go over the top, but
she's a perfectionist.
But it's jaded, right? Because I'm in the industry. So the fact that I'm in the industry, I'm going to know that, all right, there's some stuff that this is not good enough. Right, this is something that I need to do more on, and I know that there's some elements that I'm just going to be like, nope, I'm not going to dump one red cent into that because I'm not going to see a return. So all that being said, the first thing that you have to ask yourself is who's your target audience, and then the second thing that you need to ask yourself is what is your budget. So if you don't have a budget, that's going to highly affect what you're doing to your house because you need to start with the things that are free or cheap first, no matter what your budget is. But then above and beyond that, we say, okay, well, where are we going to spend this budget of $5,000, $10,000, $50,000 in order to maximize our profits, right? So if we know that we need to sell quick and we are dealing with more of a first-time home buyer type of property, then not going to do a whole heck of a lot to it other than making sure that it's clean, probably splash some paint and take care of some deferred maintenance. If I'm dealing with a luxury property, I am spending a good amount of money on that kitchen and bathroom, okay? And then from there, I'm going over to the master bedroom and I'm going to the outside living. That is where people are going to spend the majority of their time, where they're willing to spend the most amount of money on. So kitchen being number one, right? And right now, kitchens, you can break the bank on them.
Yeah.
Right?
I almost said no shit, but I don't want to say no shit on the air.
Oh, well.
So I'm not going to say no shit.
Okay. So understanding what your target audience is, if you're dealing with a more luxury type of buyer, you need to make sure that your kitchen is on point, or you're not only going to be sitting on market for a long time, but you're going to be taking a bath. You're going to look at your comps and you're going to say, man, they are making so much more money than me off of their property. and they only put $50,000 into their kitchen, but they're going to sell for $75,000, $100,000 more than me.
All right, I'm just warning all of our listeners that we're going to probably cap out about 15 minutes on this. We could go hours on this, and we would love to have that conversation. If you are thinking about selling your home and you want to sit down and chat with an expert about the do's and the don'ts and the things that you need to consider when getting your house ready to sell, all you got to do is text the word sale. I don't care whether it's SAIL, SALE, SELL, or like Justin, he just throws the silent P in there and just, just text the word sale to 623 AZ Recon. That's 623 AZ Recon. As we dig deeper into this, Justin, you handle the lending side, the finance side. I want to talk about appraisals. Here's what I think, and I could be way off base.
Okay.
At the end of the day, an appraiser is hired to justify value, justify the sales price. That's how I see things. But an appraiser is a human being. And I think it makes a difference. They can stare at comps, they can stare at numbers all day long. But there's got to be an emotional difference when an appraiser walks into a house, looks around, and goes, ugh.
I feel the same way. I tell any of my clients that are trying to refi, sell their home. I mean, I'm not doing your guys' job, but I tell them, keep the house clean, bake some cookies. You know, that smell of fresh baked cookies in a nice kitchen. I feel like it goes a long way.
It does.
So I psychological portion of any type of conversation or, judging somebody. Everybody does it. We're human beings. We judge.
Ryan, I agree with you with the kitchen and the bathrooms. Here's where I tell this is the process when somebody hires me to come over and do a listing presentation and talk about selling their house. I am a first impressions guy. I think first impressions are absolutely everything. I want you to get in my car. We're going to drive around for a mile. We're going to come back. We're going to pull up in front of your house. And I want you to tell me what you see. Because if there's weeds waist high, if there's dead bushes, if it's dirty, I still may want to buy your house, but that first impression is going to be very, very influential. And then we're going to walk up the walkway, and we're going to not go through the garage, but we're going to go through the front door. I'm going to open up the front door. What do you see? Because if I open up the door and the paint's trashed, the carpets are trashed, there's clutter everywhere, again, not to say they're not going to buy the house, but that first impression is going to set the stage. And if it looks like crap, for me, I'm thinking, I'm going to get a deal on this house.
I'm going to change your mind.
Oh, boy.
Okay? So you are thinking of a consumer of the way that you were raised. Okay? Tell me, how do you look for homes? What's the first thing that you do when you want to go look at a home?
I look at price.
No, you don't.
Okay.
Well,
tell me how. How do you tell me?
You filter with price. You say, hey, look, I don't want to look at any homes between anything under 700, anything over $1 million, right? So you already know that the price point is going to be there. And then you're going to do what? You're going to jump on your phone, or you're going to jump on the computer, or whatever electronic device that you have. Nobody drives neighborhoods anymore.
Mm-mm.
Maybe 10.
No, I'm talking about if we're going to actually go look at a specific home.
I know, but you're talking about first impressions.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree with you on first impressions. What I disagree with you on is the way that consumers consume. And what they do is they jump on their phone or they jump on their computer, and then they look at the pictures. They don't read the remarks. They'll read them maybe.
We're going to
second-
fight right. I
second
feel like
or
we're going to
third.
fight right
They're-
now. This is going to be
they're-
great. We're going to fight.
Yeah, all right, that's fine.
Because
I got my money on Ryan.
No, but by the time I disagree. By the time I've gotten in a car with an agent, I'm going to go look at a home. I've filtered through hundreds of homes. They all blend together.
I know, but you're going to say, I want to go look at that home because I love that kitchen. or I love, maybe it is the front landscape and the way that it looks from the street. Whatever it is, they're looking at that picture and they're saying, that looks legit. It's something I would consider buying based on that picture. Okay, now let me read more. Okay, the HOA, okay, or the year built, the square footage, so on and so forth. But if they've already done the pre-filtering, they already know that those boxes have been checked. What they're going to do from there is their first impression is on those pictures online. Everyone is shopping online now. That's the way consumers consume. Now, if they get up there and you're right, if the weeds are tall, it's going to start taking away from their confidence of showing. But their first impression is online. It is not when they drive the neighborhood and go up to the house for the first time.
Yeah, but I see, if I'm on a dating app, right, and I'm swiping left and I'm swiping right, I'm on 3 of them, and I'm happily married to my first wife, she looks great. She doesn't look great. I want to go meet her, or whatever the case is. Pictures and online can only do so much. When I show up to the bar, the goods have better be there, because if the goods aren't, I don't know whether I care too much about the personality.
But you're not going to show up at the bar if you hated the picture online.
That's true, right? but there's a difference between the pictures and the real life, the smell, the touch, the visual.
It's okay.
Wow, he's a creeper.
You can say you're wrong.
So what I'm saying is,
I can either say I told you so now, or
what I'm saying is, if you're a seller and a buyer, regardless of what the pictures look like, okay, have we all seen listings where, okay, we know a lady. Okay. She's in the home warranty space. Okay. All right. You get her business card and you're like, dang. Right? And then you meet her and you're like, well, that headshot was taken 30 years ago. So
oh, you're getting canceled so fast.
I'm just saying. So yeah, I think the pictures are powerful, but I don't think there's anything more powerful than the visual, the in-person. And I guess my point is, and I think we're on the same page on this, my point is when I open up that door, what I see right away is going to impact my opinion on this house. And if I'm savvy, I walk in and I see that the paint's shot, the carpets are shot, there's whatever over there. You know what goes into my head? Everybody else that walks into this is thinking the same thing. They're going to have a harder time to sell. I'm probably going to get a better deal on this house.
Okay. I still think though, and we do this already. You and I do, is when we're selling a home, if the front is just meh, or if it's like a 0 lot line and it's kind of cramped, then and it has an amazing kitchen or an amazing pool, that's our flag picture. That's the first one that they're putting up, that we're putting up, because we know that they're going to say, all right, well, this picture's awesome. Let me click on it, look at more pictures. Okay.
We have so digressed, and I want to encourage, because I want to actually get into some meat and potatoes here. But if you are, I guess, wanting dating advice, or you're wanting to learn how to...
God, don't listen to Mike.
Oh, my God. If you're wanting to learn how to get your house ready to sell, we want you to text the word sell to 623-AZ-RECON. Again, text the word sell to 623-AZ-RECON. This is Ryan, where you're an expert in. What are the do's and the don'ts? Where do I put the money in? Where are you oftentimes seeing sellers pour money to update that probably didn't need to? Because not every upgrade and not every update is going to get you your money back.
Okay. Number one thing to spend money on, paint. Best salesman in the world.
And Ryan or Justin would say cookies.
And he's not wrong. I mean,
Candles and cookies.
The people that do it best are the new homes out there.
Oh, yeah.
And when you walk in, the first thing you smell is those, Otis Spunkmeyer cookies or whatever they got going on.
Well, that's a dating site that Justin's on, Cookies and Candles.
Where do you think I learned it from?
The last thing to spend money on, Softscape.
Okay, talk to me.
So, all right, grass, gravel, things like that, those are softscapes. Hardscapes are curbing, pools, patios, patio covers. Those are hardscapes. Don't go buying new trees to try to add value. You're not going to make your money back. You're going to lose. It's kind of like buying a new
What
car.
about the things that don't cost money, like decluttering and making sure? Because for me, the kitchen, only have the pots, pans, and plates that you need. Don't, like, if my wife walks into a kitchen and opens up a cabinet, or walks into the master closet and everything is just jammed in there, it just says small.
So there are neutral spaces. Closets and the garage are neutral spaces. You can have almost as much stuff in there as you want, but it has to be orderly. It can't be confusing. It can't be like someone just shoved it all in there and the other one just closed the door on it to try to, get it closed. Now, when it comes to kitchens and cabinets and so on and so forth, yeah, less is more. And if you're in a kitchen, if you don't touch it every single day, it needs to be packed up or put away, okay? If there's common area, nothing that is personal, okay? Nothing religious. I don't want a bunch of pictures of you and the family. That stuff is reserved for bedrooms. You can put your crosses or the picture of the family up in the bedrooms, perfectly fine. People expect that. They want that. But it's when you put it in the common area that all of a sudden it's your home, not theirs. And you want them to feel like they're at home. You want them to be comfortable and
You want
sit
them
down
to
on
picture
the couch and
themselves
picture
there, right?
themselves living
I'm
there.
going to blow your mind
'Kay.
right now. I think the best investment that you can make when selling your home is a storage locker, storage space, whatever you want to call it.
Start moving.
Just get all the stuff that you don't need and declutter the home. If it's $150 a month, I think that money is going to pay dividends.
Homes that sell the best are ones that are vacant and staged. And when I say staged, dining room, kitchen, living room, family room, and master bedroom. All the other bedrooms don't need it.
All right. So, full disclosure, we would like to apologize for some of the things that you've heard during this episode. But at the end of the day, we are the Recon Group and Justin with the Frederick team at Fairway Independent Mortgage. Ryan and I run a team of real estate wealth managers. And at the end of the day, the goal is to sell your house for the most amount of money in the quickest amount of time. But it's simply more than just simply putting your house on the market. It comes down to getting your house ready to sell. We are experts in this. We'd love to have that discussion with you. All you got to do is text the word sell to 623-AZ-RECON. Again, text the word sell to 623-AZ-RECON.
Thank you for joining us on the Real Estate 401k Show. If you want more information on how to build wealth, click on the link or text us at 623-297-3266. That's 623-AZ-RECON.